Welcome back and welcome if you're new to the channel. Today, we'll be talking about the interview question, tell me about yourself. Perhaps a simple question to ask, but one of the trickiest ones to respond. In this video, I'll show you the right method to figure out and prepare your best response to this question. And then using a sample, I'll show you how to tactfully deliver your response in the interview. And I've got a pro tip in the end, so make sure you stick around till the end, alright? Let's jump right in. Your starting point is doing your homework before the interview. And that begins with understanding the purpose of the interview. What would the hiring managers really look for? What's on the checklist? Hiring managers fundamentally want to find out two things. One, how well you match the job requirements. Two, how much better are you than other candidates? That's it. This is their objective. This is what they're interested in know. So when they prompt you to talk about yourself, what else would you talk about other than what they're interested in? So your homework has to be targeted against these two questions. In order to know how well you match the requirement, first you should know the requirements, right? So if you don't have the job requirements on hand, go ask, call the recruiter and ask for details. If not a formal document, at least have a brief summary of the job requirements emailed to you. Because that is your foundation. That is what forms the most part of your response. Once you have the requirements, take a close look at each of the requirements and find out where you're a match and also where you're not exactly a match. For instance, the job description says a total experience of at least 15 years required. So you'll include your total years of experience in your response. Maybe you possess 12 to 13 years, but that's fine. It's close. Project management experience, they ask for at least 4 years. So you'll mention your PM experience in your response. Next, you need to have an exposure on this technology. Okay, maybe you have an exposure on similar technology, if not on the same technology. So you'll mention that in your response. They're expecting at least 2 years working with clients from financial service industry. In fact, you actually have 4 years in banking. It's a plus. So you're going to highlight this in your response. Ensure that all projects are delivered on time and within budget. Of course, this is your job as a PM. So you talk about how well you delivered, like delivered 95% on time, 98% within budget, and so on. They say client-facing role. Maybe your current role is not client-facing per se, as it belongs to the operations. That's a gap. So mark it as a gap. Experience on digital marketing and SEO techniques. Maybe digital marketing is not your stronghold. That's a gap. This way, list the requirements that you're a match and also list the ones you're not exactly a match. And now think about how you can bridge those gaps. The gaps because you're not a match. For instance, client-facing. Though you're in operations, maybe you still have some experience talking to the customers while you report them the status of the operations. So you're not entirely new to client interactions. Digital marketing. Maybe you can learn digital marketing, enroll for some courses, put in extra effort, and learn on the job to become proficient on the subject. So figure out the actions to bridge those gaps and be ready to propose them in the interview. Talking about your gaps showcases your attention to details and your willingness to learn and grow. This is how you have to prepare the foundation for your response. You're preparing your response based on the job requirements rather than your overall profile because you want to keep your response relevant to what they're looking for. You don't have to talk about your hobbies or your personal interests unless they ask you. With this, you have the first part of your response ready. But keep in mind, the attention span of the interviewers is usually less. So prepare to keep your response to 2 to 3 minutes max. Alright? Now, let's look at the second objective. How better are you than others? What makes you shine? At least, are you a cut above the average? So think of something you've done above and beyond, your accomplishments or your achievements. Think about the times, for instance, when you've delivered projects ahead of time or under budget. Or maybe you increase your client rotation by some 20% or so. Or you grew your revenue by, say, some 30%. Or reduce operational costs by some 10% or so. Even if you haven't accomplished or achieved anything that you're really proud of, at least think about the moments where you added some value. Wherever you stepped up your game, even in smaller ways. Maybe you stepped up when a project was in red and worked hard to get it back to green. Maybe you mentored your juniors and they're now the budding stars of the company. Or maybe you developed a software feature that improved user experience and delighted the customers. Think about such moments and include them in your response. Worst case, think about your strengths. Maybe you're very strong in technology or very good at team management or you're very creative. Try and list at least 2 to 3 of your biggest strengths. And then your accolades, any recent recognitions or rewards or awards that you've won, Employee of the Month or Star of the Month or any other recognition. Even certifications you've earned add some credibility. But again, make sure whatever you're sharing is relevant to the role that you're being interviewed for. The key is relevance, alright? So this forms the basis for the second part of your response, and try to keep this part to 1 minute max. Ideally, you should have all these accomplishments and achievements or value adds already highlighted in your profile. If not, that is the first thing you have to do. This is how you have to do your homework, guys. And you don't have to talk anything outside the requirements unless it's clearly relevant to the position you interviewed for. Alright? Fine. So let's now get into how exactly you should deliver your response that you prepared. Let's say you're giving an interview for the role of a project manager and they ask you to tell about yourself. You can then respond like this. Firstly, thank you for shortlisting me and thanks for giving me this opportunity to share a bit about myself. I bring in about 12 years of experience in the IT industry with the last 4 years as a project manager. And currently I'm with Accenture as a delivery project manager, and I'm managing a product implementation project with a budget of about $5 million. We're implementing a Salesforce Financial Services Cloud for Bank of America and integrating their other products with this one. I'm sure you know Salesforce is one of the biggest CRM products in the market that is similar to MS Dynamics. I've been managing this project end-to-end, right from project initiation and planning to execution and closing down, and we are now set to wrap up things in the next few weeks. Overall, 95% on time and 98% within budget. I think the journey has been a real testament to our hard work and dedication, I should say. Despite the bumps due to client requirements evolving, we still managed to steer our ship back on course and secure additional budget from the client and deliver within the revised plan. Overall, as a PM, I've managed 2 large implementation projects and about 5 minor maintenance projects. I've completed my PMP certification last year, and the knowledge I've acquired in the process helped me apply a structured approach to my project and streamline the process and execute things more methodically. I worked for banking and insurance clients for about 4 years, 2 years as a technical lead and 2 more years as a PM. The technical experience in banking was a huge advantage when I was managing these projects, as I was able to leverage the knowledge of banking domain to be more effective in helping the team solve the technical issues and also partner with the client to make the right technical decisions. I know you've been looking for people who have some experience in digital marketing, but I didn't get a chance to get my hands around that so far. But I'll be happy to learn digital marketing. In fact, I find it interesting as well, and I understand that its prominence in business is growing exponentially. And before I wrap up my introduction, I'm humbled to share that I was recognized with the Employee of the Month award twice in the last 1 year in the category of problem solving, which is one of the core values of a company. So yes, that's a brief snapshot about me, and I'm delighted to be here and eager to engage in a fruitful discussion today. So there you have it. Maybe I made that look too easy, but I hope that helped you. So when you're going for an interview next time, apply what you've learned today and develop an impactful response based on the job requirements and go with solid preparation and knock it out of the park. And now the pro tip. Once you draft your script, use ChatGPT to refine the language in your script to make it look more professional and yet natural. If you don't have the access to ChatGPT, just create an account. It's pretty simple to create one. And then log into ChatGPT and prompt the ChatGPT like you're talking to a person. Ask ChatGPT to rephrase the script that you're going to provide to make it sound more professional. And then just upload your entire script in ChatGPT. And review the revised script that ChatGPT outputs. And if you want ChatGPT to rephrase it better, tell how exactly you wanted it to be. Maybe it should not be too formal and not too casual as well. Once you're happy with the output, review it to make any final changes to make sure your script doesn't sound like a robot but sounds more like a natural conversation. And once you're done, practice your response as much as you can until it rolls off your tongue naturally during the interview. It's going to have a profound influence on your confidence and your energy levels, and you'll have a great start. Alright? So all the best for your next interview, and if you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos on interviewing tips and on advancing your career. Until next time, keep learning and keep rocking. Take care.